Good evening. Welcome to Oxford Community Television News. I'm Elgin Nichols, and coming up in this week's local news, burglars get away with loot from a local home, and what would it cost to build a new Oxford Village office building? Stay tuned and learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. Oakland County Sheriff's deputies responded to a breaking and entering call in the 1300 block of East Rainer Road, Oxford. According to police, the home's occupants left between 2 p.m. and returned at 5 p.m. to find doors leading to the house open and the home ransacked. Police determined that the access by burglars was made by removing a window screen, and missing was over $1,000 worth of jewelry and cash. The case is still under investigation. In the 1300 block of Indian Lake Road, Oxford, sheriff's deputies placed a man under arrest at his home for felonious assault and possession of an unregistered handgun. A co-worker went to the apartment with a dispute about money, and when the homeowner came to the door screen, he told the other man to get off his property and brandished a gun. He may wish that he had paid the man instead. Now the Oakland County judicial system will make sure that he has some time to think about it. After considerable debate, Oxford Village Council voted 3-1 to approve purchase of new 911 equipment and software upgrades. Also, a $8,906 monthly maintenance agreement was endorsed by a 3-1 vote. Other business included an approved 3-year contract for Oxford to take over Lake Orion's 911 service in exchange for $20,000 per year. The larger issue at stake was the Village Council's decision to keep local Oxford's existing 911 service at a cost of over $250,000 of taxpayers' money per year, or to decide if 911 services should be provided by the Oakland County Dispatch at a cost of about $30,000 per year. It was thought that the Oxford 911 issue would be resolved by a vote of the residents, but that possibility was taken off the table when the council members Dave Bailey, Susan Basardi, and Maureen Helmuth steamrolled a vote to approve purchase of equipment, which could have been postponed until after an election, and a 3-year contract with Lake Orion to perform their 911 services locks the village into their current 911 program, in which the residents will not be given an opportunity to decide through an election vote. Oxford Village Manager Joe Young has estimated that it would cost between $750,000 and $1.1 million to build a new village office building and new building to house the police and 911 service facilities. There is currently an offer to sell the old Oxford Village office building and property at the Burdick Street location. The amount currently being offered does not offset the cost to rebuild. However, Vice President Charles DiMaggio of Burton Katzman Developers expressed interest in reaching an agreeable price for the property. They wish to use the property for upscale condominiums, and they like the idea of the property's location in Oxford's downtown shopping district. Oxford Village officials continue to discuss a proposed ordinance requiring registration and inspection of all rental units. The goal is to have all properties registered and then later, upon certain events, have them inspected, so landlords will keep those properties up to code and to safety standards. One concern at the council meeting was that local government could be just adding another bureaucratic level to the village government. Concerns by property rental owners such as what controls will be placed on inspectors who would not leave a property without finding some violation. This issue will continue at the next Oxford Village Council meeting. You can check with the Oxford Village office for this and other village meetings. Jeffrey Serrato, a 53-year-old Oxford resident and an Oxford fireman, is hoping to win a $10,000 grant for his fire department. He is one of 10 finalists in the Home of the Brave National Anthem singing contest. To win, he must receive the most votes on the Comerica Cares Facebook page. Voting is from now until September 14th. The winner will be announced September 18th, and if Jeff wins, he will also be given 40 tickets and an opportunity to sing at the national anthem at Comerica Park before the Detroit Tigers and Chicago White Sox on September 22nd. Let's help Jeff Serrato win that grant for the Oxford Fire Department. Go to Facebook and enter Comerica Cares, and good luck Jeff. That's all the local Oxford news we have for today. If you would like to learn more about these stories and others, you can pick up the latest copy of the Oxford Leader newspaper from your local store. Coming up next, OCTV, Dave Kinney and his Auto Science News, and then I'll be back with your weekly calendar of events. This is Oxford Community Television News. I'm Elgin Nichols. Until next time, remember to always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Life in the military is one of service and sacrifice, and for some, that sacrifice is more than many of us can imagine. Please join with the American Legion in recognizing and supporting our wounded warriors and their families. Let's not allow them to be forgotten and left to fend for themselves. They deserve more. Sometimes just thank you isn't enough. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
Hi, I'm Betty White, and I'd like to share some news about an exciting project at Guide Dogs for the Blind. Guide Dogs for the Blind is building a new state-of-the-art student residence hall. It's where the magical partnership between someone who's blind and his new guide dog begins. Join me in helping them build a bright new future. Learn more online at guidedogs.com.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Volkswagen's top U.S. executive said the company has made no decision on how workers could be organized in its U.S. assembly plant, despite reports of high-level meetings between UAW organizers and top VW executives. The automaker has long said it would like to Americanize its labor relations model to give workers more of a voice in the Chattanooga plant, which has built the Passat sedan since it opened in 2011. That led VW into talks with the UAW after executives concluded that the company's Works Council system might run afoul of U.S. law without involvement of an actual labor union. The company still has not settled on a proposal and still intends for employees to choose their representation through a formal vote. And that's according to Jonathan Browning, CEO of Volkswagen Group of America, and he said that on September 4th. The matter was thrust into the spotlight on September 2nd when the German newspaper Handelsblatt published a report saying UAW President Bob King met August 30th with Horst Neumann, VW's board member for human resources, to discuss a Works Council plan. And it goes on. In our next story, Nissan Motor Company and Daimler AG will build small Infiniti and Mercedes-Benz luxury cars at a Nissan plant in Mexico. The $2 billion Aguas Calientes plant, which will open late this year next to an existing Nissan assembly plant, is expected to build the new Infiniti Q30, a compact four-door hatchback that will share engines and some chassis components with the Mercedes-Benz GLA, the sources said. The 2015 GLA, a compact crossover vehicle similar in size to the Q30, will go on sale next spring in Europe and next fall in the United States, according to Mercedes-Benz. The GLA is one of several candidates for future production at Aguas Calientes, the sources said. The final production version of the GLA will make its public debut at the Frankfurt Auto Show and will be built initially at Mercedes-Benz plant in Rosset, Germany. A concept version of the Q30 will also debut at the Frankfurt show. The Q30, which is expected to go on sale in mid-2015, could be assembled at 2 locations, according to a source at Nissan, who asked not to be named. Initially, the car may be built at Nissan's Sunderland plant in the United Kingdom for European customers and later at Aguas Calientes for the U.S. market. Japan's Nissan, which is partnered with French automaker Renault and Germany's Daimler, signed a cooperative agreement in 2010 to share vehicle platforms, engines, and other components. The Q30 is the first Nissan-built vehicle that will share a Daimler platform, the Nissan source said. And U.S. safety regulators opened an investigation into 2 2013 Nissan Motor Company vehicles, that's the Nissan Pathfinder and Infiniti JX35, after consumers complained that the transmission cooler line connection failed, a filing showed. An investigation may lead to a recall, which would affect an estimated 110,000 vehicles, said the filing, dated August 29th on the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's website. Nissan owners told NHTSA that the failures caused a sudden loss of power from the transmission due to the loss of transmission fluid. Nissan spokesman Steve Yeager said that the company was working with NHTSA to address the agency's concerns. A repair procedure has been developed for the vehicles that experienced the problem, Yeager said. The filing didn't say whether there had been any injuries or crashes because of this problem. And at Toyota, Toyota Motor Corporation is recalling around 200,000 hybrid SUVs globally, including the Lexus RX 400h, due to a glitch in the hybrid system's inverter. The Japanese car maker said it was separately recalling about 169,000 vehicles, including the Lexus GS 350 and IS 350, due to a problem in the engine assembly process. No accidents or injuries have been reported in both cases, Toyota spokeswoman Shino Yamada said. Due to the hybrid system inverter problem, Toyota is recalling around 141,000 vehicles in North America, 37,000 vehicles in Europe, and 115,000 in Japan. The recall affects Lexus RX 400h SUVs made between March of 2005 and June of 2011, and Highlander SUVs manufactured between February of 2005 and May of 2007. Transistors used in the hybrid's inverters could experience heat damage that could force the vehicles to stop, Toyota said in a statement. Toyota will replace a module inside the inverter, which will take 3 to 4 hours, Yamada said. Separately, due to a glitch in the engine assembly process, Toyota is recalling the Lexus GS 350 made between July of 2005 and July of 2011, the Lexus IS 350 manufactured between August of 2005 and June of 2011, and the Lexus IS 350C produced between June 2010 and July of 2010. In this case, Toyota is recalling around 106,000 vehicles in North America, 59,000 in Japan. In Japan, Toyota is also recalling certain Crown and Mark X vehicles. In the engine, bolts used to secure a device called a variable valve timing system, which controls camshafts, could become loose, and that increases crash risks as it could lead to an engine stoppage, Toyota said. Toyota will replace the variable timing system, that's to say the variable valve timing system, which will take more than 6 hours. That's a wait, Yamada said. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
America. Meet Greg Anderson. Served 2 tours in Afghanistan, Bronze Star and Purple Heart recipient, and unemployed. The unemployment rate among transitioning service members is unacceptably high, much higher than the general population. Veterans are a proven commodity. They're mature, reliable, and hardworking, and they deserve a chance to get back to work after serving their country. Do you really want to honor a veteran? Hire one. Go to legion.org/honor veterans to find out how you can help.
Hi, and welcome to the final edition of Saddle Up.
Hi, welcome back to Billion Temple CrossFit. I'm your personal trainer.
Now, the Perch just weren't here naturally. Something brought them here.
Welcome back to Daybreak with Susan and Joe, and we're going to wrap up our session here today and talk a little bit about water.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, it will take until March of 2015 to build, cost $320 million, and use enough power each day to run 3,300 Japanese households. Yet, the country's government this week decided a wall of ice is the best solution to stem the flow of radioactive water leaking from Fukushima Daiichi's 4 stricken nuclear reactors. The wall is the centerpiece of a $470 million drive to stop 400 metric tons of groundwater being contaminated every day. It is currently being stored in an ever-increasing number of huge tanks. Kajima Corporation will build the 1.4-kilometer wall by sinking pipes carrying freezing fluids into the ground, gradually freezing it to form a barrier of permafrost 30 meters deep down to the bedrock. This will force the water to drain into the sea instead. Similar ice walls have been used in the U.S. for years in projects to secure mine shafts and contain contamination, for example. The cost of the project includes $150 million to reduce contamination of the stored water so it can be dumped at sea, a strategy backed by the International Atomic Energy Agency. And swinging to nature, A relative of the killer chytrid fungus that has devastated frog populations is sweeping through salamanders undetected. The fungus, which eats through the skin, has practically wiped out fire salamanders in the Netherlands. Over the last few years, fire salamanders in the Netherlands have been the victims of a mysterious mass die-off. Today, their population is only 4% of what it was in 2010. In an attempt to figure out the cause, Anne Martel and her colleagues at Ghent University in Belgium have been testing the dead salamanders for the chytrid fungus Batrachochytrium dendrobatidis. A lot of words. BD, thank God, as it's known, has been responsible for mass die-offs of frogs, toads, and salamanders worldwide since the 1980s and has spread to 520 of the world's 1,252 frog and toad species. The team found no evidence of BD, but instead discovered an entirely new fungus called Batrachochytrium salamander ivorans, or BS, thank you again. This appears to specifically target salamanders. It kills the amphibians by eating through their skin, exposing them to lethal bacteria infections. It causes ulcerations and holes in the skin and kills within just 12 days, says Martel. Luckily for other amphibians, BS doesn't seem to kill frogs and toads. All of the midwife toads Martel's team exposed to the fungus survived unharmed. But because routine tests for BD infections won't have picked up BS, the fungus may have already spread far and wide without anyone realizing. BS is more than 4% different from BD genetically, which means that the BD test can't detect it, says Martel. It's so different from BD that all of our previous surveillance will have missed it, agrees Matthew Fisher of the Imperial College in London, who co-authored the study. It's going to spread, but how rapidly and how well, we don't know yet. Martel's team have now developed a DNA test that will detect BS in samples of amphibian skin. The group hopes that researchers around the world will use the test on amphibians, including those that have passed tests for BD, to find out whether the fungus is responsible for salamander deaths elsewhere. Wow. And on the medical front, time is of the essence. Giving HIV-positive infants prompt treatment halves their risk of dying early in childhood. The finding builds on results earlier this year showing that a baby and 14 adults were effectively cured by an early treatment. In 2005, Mark Cotton of Stellenbosch University in Cape Town, South Africa, began a study of 377 South African infants aged 6 to 12 months. 1/3 received no antiretroviral drugs until their immune system showed signs of weakening, in line with standard practice at the time. The others received the drugs at 7 weeks of age on average, and of those, half were treated for 40 weeks and the others for 96 weeks. 5 years later, 21 delayers had died compared with 11 and 9 in the two early groups. What's more, 24 of the infants who had 40 weeks of treatments and 40 that have received 96 weeks remain off medication. Current guidelines say babies can have antiretrovirals at 6 weeks of age, but most HIV-positive babies start treatment at 6 months, Cotton says. He hopes the findings will help change that, and so do we. And at sea, well, whales tan too. Just like us, they do it to protect themselves from powerful ultraviolet radiation. A study of skin samples taken from blue, fin, and sperm whales in Mexico's Gulf of California found that the blue whales show the most obvious tanning effects. Samples were collected between January and June from 2007 to 2009. Blue whales migrate annually between the Arctic and the Gulf of California. The team, led by Mark Berschmachen of Newcastle University in the UK, found that their gray whale skins darken with melanin as ultraviolet radiation intensifies from February to May in the Gulf. Berschmachen and his colleagues also found that damage to mitochondrial DNA in skin cells dropped as the whale skin darkened, demonstrating that melanin protects them against UV-induced DNA damage just as it does in humans. But neither fin nor sperm whales appeared to change their color noticeably. Unlike blue whales, which migrate annually between the Arctic and Mexico, fin whales live in the Gulf of California all year round, and so are permanently exposed to high UV levels. They had the darkest skin with the highest melanin content. Sperm whales spend long periods at the sea surface. For sun factor protection, they rely on melanin and a substance called heat shock protein 70, which repairs proteins damaged by UV light. Maybe we could use some of that stuff. The amount of UV they're exposed to would overwhelm pigments alone, says Bergmachen. He says the results are first to show from analysis of DNA and skin that animals rely on pigments too for sun protection. Karina Acevedo Whitehouse of the Zoological Society of London reported the first sighting of sunburnt whales 3 years ago. Bergmachen says that whether sunburn leads to melanomas in whales, as has yet been documented in trout, is not known. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television, and we'll be right back.
At Oakland County Parks and Recreation, we value what you value: family relationships, community connections, good health, environmental stewardship, and economic stability. Oakland County residents and businesses have invested in preserving nearly 7,000 acres of parkland. Since 1966, 13 parks and golf courses have been acquired, maintained, and improved. Oakland County parks and facilities are made possible by millage funds supported by Oakland County residents. Oakland County residents and businesses have invested in preserving nearly 7,000 acres of parkland. Since 1966, 13 parks and golf courses have been acquired, maintained, and improved. Oakland County parks and facilities are made possible by millage funds supported by Oakland County residents. For a home valued at $200,000, the homeowner pays less than $25 per year to support the Oakland County parks. With every generation, families create lifelong memories at Oakland County's award-winning parks. From exciting summer escapades and stories around the campfire, to brisk fall walks on wooded trails and snowy winter outings, the outdoors beckons year-round. It's time to get up, get out, and get going at the Oakland County parks. It's an easy journey. Most parks are just a short drive away. The campgrounds at Addison Oaks and Groveland Oaks feel like being up north, with plenty of recreation options. If the links are your lure, 5 golf courses, including premier course Lion Oaks, are conveniently located. Make Glen Oaks or White Lake Oaks your home course. Get an up-north feel at Springfield Oaks, or play a quick 9 at Red Oaks. Everyone's included. Individuals with disabilities participate in dozens of adaptive opportunities, including a new fully accessible playscape, modified golf carts, and annual events. There's always something special going on at Oakland County Parks, whether it's a classic car show, the Oakland County Fair, a senior golf tournament, or the Ellis Barn Festival. Being green is an everyday practice with nature interpretive programs, wildlife habitat protection, reduction of invasive species, and stormwater management.
Welcome to another segment of the news we call your weekly calendar of events, where we feature your weekly calendar of local Oxford and Addison community events, including charity, special fundraisers, and general community information. Now, if you or your organization would like help to get your message out to the public, contact us for detailed information at our studio phone number, 248-628-9658, or go to our website, occtv.org. On the second Saturday every month, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Canine Rescue League of Oxford will be holding a Dog Adoption Day, sponsored by Pet and Stuff Harvest Time, located on the corner of Drainer and M24 Oxford. Come and select a furry little friend who will give your family lots of love and company for years to come. You can also visit the kennel's location at 2120 Metamora Road in Oxford, or go to their Canine Rescue website, dogsaver.org. Through the whole month of September, show your Oxford Library card to participating Oxford merchants and restaurants and get big discounts. For a list of those businesses, go to www.miopl.org. Now, on September 29th through October 5th, Oxford Township Parks and Recreation is offering a 7-day trip by motor coach to Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, and Newport, Rhode Island. The trip includes all transportation, baggage handling, 6 breakfasts and 3 dinners, and tours including the Mayflower 2, a lobstering cruise, a Kennedy Memorial, and much, much more. All your guide and meal tips are included. Cost is only $909 per person in a double occupancy and $1,150 for a single. And you must have a passport or enhanced driver's license. For more information, call 248-628-1720. The Oxford Farmers Market operates every Thursday through October 30th. The market features Michigan-grown produce and products, and the Farmers Market is located near the Centennial Park. And when entering downtown Oxford in the village, watch for their signs. Thursday, September 19th, 6 p.m., Oakland Livingston Human Services Agency provides an adult presentation. Learn about the OLHSA organization and what it can do for you. Stop by and have cider and donuts. Tuesday, September 24th, 6:30 p.m. at the Oxford Public Library, Pontiac Street, Oxford. Join Dean Rondy, owner of Oxford Wine and Beverage Company, and learn all about wine. Yummy. For more information, call 248-628-3034. On Saturday, September 28th, the No Haz program to allow residents drop-off of hazardous materials will be held, and it will be located at Wildwood and Orion Township in the amphitheater parking lot. Saturday, October 19th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., come to see the gun show sponsored by Oxford Post 108, East Rainer Road, Oxford. Admission for adults is $5, teens 13 through 18 is $2, and under 12, they get in free. Food is available, and for those who wish to display and sell their guns, a 6-foot table is only $10. For more information, call Jim Parkhurst at 248-693-2444, or you can go to 248-628-9081. Students, do you need money for college? Did you know that the Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW, gives out over $2 million in college scholarships every year to 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students through their Voice of Democracy Scholarship Contest? All you need to do is write a 3 to 5 minute audio essay on a patriotic theme. And this year's theme is Why I'm Optimistic About the Nation's Future. The top national prize is a $30,000 scholarship and a trip to Washington, D.C. To get more information, go to the VFW website at vfw.org. The student entry deadline is November 1st, 2013. So don't wait, get started now, and good luck. A local teacher could be the VFW Veterans of Foreign Wars Teacher Award winner for 2013-14. If you are a teacher, a student, supervisor, or interested individual, you can enter your favorite K-5, 6, and 8, and 9 through 12 teacher into the 15th Annual Citizens Education Teacher Award contest, sponsored by Post 334 VFW Ladies Auxiliary. The winner will receive $1,000 for their school, and deadline date for the contest is November 1st, 2013. And for more information, call 248-693-6759. We at Oxford Community TV would like our television viewing public to learn more about your club or organization's special upcoming event or charity. So if you would like to get your special event mentioned on our television show, call us at 248-628-9658 or go to our website, occtv.org. One final reminder, check our OCTV viewing schedule for my good friend Bill Service, who always has interesting local stories and interviews on Our Community Access program. This is Oxford Community Television OCTV. I'm your host, Elgin Nichols, and we invite you to join us again for the next segment of your weekly calendar of events.